Hi, hello, welcome to this episode of Casually Yours. And today, the guest for my program is someone very special. Please welcome Mr. Bosco George. Hi, hello, sir. मी म्हणजे तुमच्या मनान जे आहा न्ही ते उलोवंक शकता बिंदास उलोवपाचें तुमी ओके दिस इज द ओनली प्लॅटफॉर्म वेर यू कॅन स्पीक युअर हार्ट सो वॉट वॉज दॅट फर्स्ट टायम वेन यू वर सिलेक्टेड इन टू दिस थिंग कशें तुमचें आसलें
Yeah, see, for a normal person, for the normal person, it is a fact that the police symbolizes a certain fear.
Correct.
There's no doubt.
Correct.
That may be because over a period of time we have been colonized, and at that point of time, human rights, democracy was never present. So it was always you had the expression of the citizens was suppressed.
Correct.
So
Correct.
the only agency that did it most successfully was the police force. Okay, but after independence, the focus has changed. Although we still linger on with a little bit of the past, today we are no more a force.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
we are a service. That's what we are supposed to be, and it is taking its time. It is churning a time, but at one point of time, I think we will be seeing the police force which was there at that point of time is today will be to its
पण
people.
सर अशें पळोवंक गेलें जाल्यार विल इट बी ओके दॅट विल बी जस्ट लायक फ्रेंड्स कशें मागीर भंय उरचो ना न्ही तो
ना सी कितें हा भंय घालून कामां जायना आतां
ओके
सारकें
ओके ओके
कामां कशीं जातली वेन एवर वी एबल टू रिस्पेक्ट
Correct.
वी आर एबल टू अंडरस्टँड वी आर एबल टू लुक अनसेल्फिशली दॅट what is in the greater interest of the state. जर भय म्हणटा ते फक्त when there is a certain vested interest, I have to crush it, I have to do something.
Suppress करपाचें. Yeah.
But now we have to come out of that mentality. We have to move. The adage is every citizen is a policeman without uniform.
Wow.
Every policeman is a citizen in uniform. So we have to, police and citizens are one and the same. Only thing, information gathering will come only when they have respect.
प्रत्येक मनीस जर पुलिसमॅन कसो वागू लागला मागीर
It will, that is.
Now we'll come to my casual talk.
Okay.
What would you have been if you were not what you are now today?
Maybe after I did my BCom, I was looking out for a job, and I started working in the accounts department. So maybe
Accountant, CA.
no, CA would be too much for me. But yes, I would be dealing in accounts, and that's what we were this thing until I got this opportunity. And
So you remember your college days?
Oh, very well.
Very
Dempo College.
Yeah.
Yes.
नाही पण आम्ही अशें ऐकलं की you were like born in Gujarat.
No. I was basically born in Saudi Arabia. My parents, my father used to work for Aramco. It was called the Arabian American Oil Company. So I was born over there. But for my education, I came down to Goa. And initially, I was in Don Bosco's.
Okay.
But then,
same
Don Bosco's Panjim as a boarder. But after my grandmother expired and my dad's brothers were all abroad, so they took my grandfather. There was no one over here. So then the rest after, my maternal grandmother was in Gujarat.
Achha.
So because again my maternal grandfather were the first lot of Goans who were working in the Western Railway, and they were transferred from Mumbai, then Bombay to Dahod in Gujarat, where they had a locomotive workshop. So at that point of time, that was only one English medium school. Not in Gujarat, in the district of Panchmahal.
Okay.
And that was run by the church, St. Stephen's High School. So I completed my SSC till in Dahod. Subsequently, when my parents came down, again I came back to Goa and did my...
Goa ki Gujarat.
Goa is Goa.
आता situation is different.
No. I still... Goa is Goa. Whatever it is your land, that atmosphere.
तुमकां लोक भितात पर्सनली स्पीकिंग तुमचे जे पोलीसमॅन आहा जे ते तुमकां भितात सो डू यू थिंक लायक इट इज वॅलिड दे शूड फियर
See, I think if they are on the right track, they shouldn't fear. But if they are wrong, they must. And that is important because we have to enforce a certain amount of discipline.
तुम्ही असेच घराकडे असेच आहात?
No, no, no. And, no, in the sense, I don't know if I'm the same, but you know, in the house, I think my wife is a much stronger policeman than me.
मला त्याने जरा मला
Yeah, so, but that's how it has happened. So, like I say, I'd say, in the house, she plays the bad cop, I play the good cop.
So, do you remember your college days?
Of course, definitely.
So, any crush in those days? Obviously.
No. I think those crushes are not. Right now, we try to recollect. It will not reflect properly on those who are already.
बाकी कशा असतं एक फर्स्ट लव those days, college days?
No, I think, you know, maybe those days crushes were there. But then afterwards, it is not like in the present system where they get, the boys could just go and express themselves to the girls, right?
Correct.
We were a bit reluctant, we were hesitant, so naturally. So sometimes the crushes used to get crushed.
पण असे लव्ह लेटर तसे असे झाले
I think, yeah.
WhatsApp.
I think we all have gone through that stage of writing letters. We are normal beings. We cannot be hypocrites and say no. Definitely,
You can't deny the
we even never, except for the first 2 lectures in Tempo College, which were accountancy. The rest of the time we was always outside the college. And that time, Senior National used to get 10 o'clock movies, you know, English movies at 10 o'clock. So naturally, the entire class used to be attending classes in
Classes in the
theater. It is that camaraderie. There was not, we were not groups.
Correct,
Okay,
correct.
we were all. It was fun for all. Play the fool with anybody. Take a fast one, whether it was the girls or whether even the teachers. I mean, there was a lot of camaraderie, and there was. I mean, it was very, very cool. Cool.
But पहिलं मोग असं
More म्हणजे those things.
and I don't assure you, but घराकडे तुमचे व्हिडिओ पहिलं हो. So
That is okay. No, that is okay. I think then today you have to play safe a bit. You know, you have to be
you have to.
politically correct, whether it is on all aspects.
diplomatic.
Yeah. So I think we'll allow that to pass.
okay, pass. Okay, cool. And how are your school days?
School days also were nice. Of course, you know, when the children go to school and if there is a problem in the school, I think the parents come the first place to fight with the teachers, fight with the principal. This is my child. Why did you hit? I think during our time we.
हमको उलट आने
Yeah. So I mean, what a
Is
drastic
it a
change.
good change?
I do believe in the old adage which is say you spare the rod and you spoil the child.
Correct.
But then afterwards, today it's a different ball game altogether.
Yeah, correct.
That's although I would not say spare the rod, I would say punish the child.
So
I
do you
still
think this
believe it.
administration, what is like political scenario of Goa? How do you look at it today?
See, I think just identifying Goa would be wrong. There's a churning. We have to find a certain balance in every aspect.
Correct.
And we are still a young country, young state. Getting this thing,
Give them some time.
I think we all require time. It's both sides, whether it is the politician, whether it is the administration. We require a certain balance. Because if we say that politicians are interfering, at the same time, we and the administrators also need to change. We still think we need to be administrating. No, we need to be governing.
Yeah, true.
Because unless there is a via media, a channel that comes from lower down to our ears, we are able to listen. These things are bound to happen.
Correct.
If we still live in the mentality of the colonial masters, that this is what we say and this has to be implemented, I think we are not going to this
We're
thing.
not going. I mean, like
They're not. Yes.
What if you were the CM of Goa for a day?
I don't think.
Be genuine and serious.
No. Seriously, maybe, you know, I don't know. I don't think. One thing you have to accept, our politicians, they have a lot of patience to be listening to people, spending a lot of their precious time with the people. And maybe we are not cut out for that, because we come in a certain straitjacket aspect. As a police officer, I have to get up early in the morning. I have to shave myself. I have to be on this time. I mean, we are so regimented in our thinking. I do not know if we can be really patient. And then after, there is a certain this thing, and I am correct. So you bloody well, sorry, excuse me. I mean,
no, it's
please
good,
listen
it's
to
good.
me.
You can.
Please listen to me. I mean, this is what has to be done. I mean, we don't. So I don't think I would be successful as a CM.
Do you have any regrets in life?
Regrets? No. I think one thing is there. I've been happy that I was a policeman. I became a policeman because I honestly believe this is one agency which is available 24/7, and this is one agency that can help the people. This is one agency which is available for grievances of the people to be heard, even if we can't do anything. The only thing is how well do we do it?
पण लोक
Yes.
जनरल पब्लिक जे आहा
Yeah.
ते तुमकां प्रेजूय करतात आणि क्रिटिसायजूय करतात.
Yeah.
So like most of the time people do those criticism part of it. Like
Yeah.
तुम्ही तेका कशें पळयता?
Yeah. No, I think we need to, there may be, some of it may be quite justified that we are not able to respond to the people's expectations. At the same time, it may be also that, we are so caught up with so many things that we can't even be of great help to the people.
Correct.
There is, as I said, this balance we are not able to work out in a proper aspect of this thing.
न्ही पण कशें दिसता म्हणजे तो आमी इतकी मेहनत करता आमी लोकां खातीर इतकी सर्विसा खातीर कितकी हें करतात मेहनत घेतात ऑब्वियसली लायक देन लोक म्हणटा अरे करप्शन ऑल दोस थिंग्स हाऊ डू यू फील
Raj, just look at it. I think it is targeting only the police would be not proper.
Correct.
Look at the system as a whole.
Correct.
In our system, you just see there is no incentive to be honest. Do you just forget about everything?
Yeah.
Today, we will look at a person who commits a theft, chor to.
बरोबर.
Okay, but if a person indulges in corruption, we give him such this thing reverence.
बरोबर.
I mean, what is this thing? The person who has robbed is such a small thing, but the person who has accumulated money and made crores of rupees, looted, we hold them in reverence. We should be outcasting them.
Correct.
Why don't we do it? Now, this is not left on the politicians or on the enforcement. It is society. Society needs to say, this man has ruined us. Outcast him. No, we'll vote for the same chips. What do you expect?
Was there any moment in life wherein like you felt like म्हाका माझ्या मनाच्या अगेन्स्ट करचें पडटा? You have been forced to do this and you never wanted to do it.
Again, let's put it this way.
Why are you so diplomatic? प्रत्येक गोष्टी you're trying to...
No, I'm trying to be honest.
Okay.
As honest as, not as honest, I'm trying to be honest with it.
Are you
by
honest?
saying.
Are you honest?
That's for people to judge.
My questions are like straight.
Yeah.
You should come from here.
Yeah, definitely. All my answers are coming from my heart.
You're calculating and throwing out.
No. I may not able to be as expressive as I may want because there is a certain line that we cannot cross.
Correct.
So I'm only trying to say that why do we have to give reverence to people who are in holding such corrupted. Okay, again, society itself, they will go to them to ask for every damn thing. See, even if you get a challan, they'll go to the politician to get him. What does he do? He has no alternative. If he doesn't do it, someone else is going to do it to him. I mean, unless you realize that no, I have done my wrong. Even I tell my staff also, when you have done a wrong, be ready that you have to get a punishment. There's no two ways about it. Correct. Because unless you get a punishment, you will not realize it.
Very true.
Okay? Because then second time you will say, oh, I got this thing. So this is what I'm trying to imbibe in my staff, that we have to this thing. So this way, when they come before me, I give them a patient hearing and I tell them, sorry, you have to be punished. There's no two ways.
Best
Finished.
movies, favorite movies?
No. Movie, I like No, I like the movie A Few Good Men. It's an English movie,
Okay.
Jack Nicholson.
That means you don't want to sing a song for me.
No, I cannot sing.
Hindi movie, असतं नाही सिंगम तुमच्या खातीर sing.
No, sometimes, you know why?
Portray the right thing.
This is what I think. They show us the police larger than life size. I mean,
Does that mean you don't want to be that?
No.
Size? You can't
I mean,
be.
this is not reality. It is good for an entertainment. Only because he's Salman Khan, he can handle the entire. No, there are in today's world there is human rights, there is the public, there is the politician, there is the press, there is everybody you are answerable. In Singham, nobody is answerable to anybody.
Correct.
How can you? This is make-believe world of they're trying to show of the police. It show them the reality. How difficult. See how they are living. How difficult is their workplace. Who's listening to them? That should be the reality.
You can't see them singing around.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's no time for singing.
Yeah. But anyways, like तुमचे खंयचे song? I hear you sing also.
No, I don't sing.
भरपूर स्टडी केला.
No, singing no, but I just enjoy. Even I enjoy many of the old numbers in the movies. No, please don't compel me to sing.
I'm trying to. तुम्ही मनातले आज उलयात. मनातले हे करात काढत बाहेर.
Okay, we'll come to it after that. I'll try to think because I do not. I'll see.
Cool. Yeah, I've got a tagline for this show. Casually yours. It says, "Life is not a target; it's a gift."
Okay.
तुमची किती म्हणणं?
Now, a gift. Yes, it is a gift. The very fact you're born. And you're born by God's grace with a proper, with everything, nothing missing. God has created, they say God has created you in His own image. So there is something, so it is a gift that is this thing. Now, you have to set targets. What are you going to achieve? If you don't, then it is a wasted life, I feel. Otherwise, if you attain those targets, well then you may not attain, but at least you have made the effort to attain it. Okay, so that is important. So I agree with your tagline.
So, but you said like both. It's a gift with targets.
That once you get that gift, then you have to set your targets. Right. That's what I believe. If you are able to set the targets, then it is an effort. It's a life worth living. If you don't set a target, it is like general. ठीक है कुछ नहीं है करते रहेगा that चलता है attitude will develop, nothing will change. That's it.
So you're speaking about movies, your favorite
movies which I have not seen.
किती थोडे movies दी उडता मनाक लागून उडता.
Yeah.
For some personal reason तशी
बिगली. Offhand, yes, there have been some very this thing. I think mostly I enjoy Amir Khan's movies because it has a lot of
you take something
at the end of the thing there is something he conveys a message which is really worth this thing. So I do like Amir Khan's movies.
Which song then?
No, I can't say. I can say Jo Jeeta Wahi Sikandar. Of course, that's a very selfish way. Nah, let it be. Raj, let it be. Then tomorrow I'll be tagged a singing cop. Song Manina, but I will say one poem that was very
dear to your
heart. Okay. And that was when I acted that on stage.
Okay.
It was because that was my first brush with after we came from Saudi Arabia and I was in school and we had that poem Pausa Pausa Yore Yo Shaitan Mujhe Khedun Ya Khedun Tu Kai Shad Dikha Nangarani Sabtin. So I think I must have studied that in the 4th standard or something, but it's so embedded in my mind that is the thing.
For this youth today, तुमची किती message आहे?
Very important. We need to live a disciplined life.
Okay.
When I say disciplined life, I don't mean it should be a regimented life. But what I mean is, if we set targets for us, for our future, what we need to do, we have to try in this thing. If we have to live a healthy life, this abuse of the body in different aspects, it only takes you on the road to ruin. If you want to enjoy life, you have whether it is you do keep 30 minutes for your physical exercise, 30 minutes, say for your spiritual. I don't do exercise in the thing, but I do a lot of walking, jogging, limit it to this thing, and then after eat healthy. Okay, and then after, I don't say I'm religious, but yes, you have to thank God every day.
म्हाका एक सांगात, तुम्ही रिलीजियस जेन्ना म्हणलें, डू यू बिलीव इन रिलीजन्स, कास्ट, ऑल दोस थिंग्स?
See, I think that's becoming very narrow. You have to believe that every human being, whatever high, low, whatever, he's a gift of God. Fine. So I believe spirituality is a larger aspect in different aspects. Some may believe spirituality by worshipping for a different ideal. Some may have this thing, but as long as it doesn't compromise or by causing harm to others, God is with him.
सोशल मिडिया, आज जो सोशल मिडिया आसा ताजो इम्पॅक्ट जो आसा तुमकां खबर आसतलो. वॉट इज इट लायक? इज इट गुड वॉट हॅपन टू ह्युमन कायंड?
I don't think we can say it is wrong. Yeah, but everything is abused. Okay. So for that you cannot blame technology. We have to blame ourselves. Our human mind is such a technological this thing. So we can use it for the good. There are whether it's Twitter, whether it is any handle, social media. I mean, you look at the good things that are happening. I mean, the religious leaders, spiritual leaders are able to convey this thing. Today, on the tap of this thing, if you want to have a 10 minutes of just spirituality, you put it on this thing, anything, it is very soothing. But at the same time, you can use 10 minutes and it can go on a very abusive language. So I think social media, it is a thing to stay. It is a thing for us to use it productively, not abuse it.
Happy with your life? Satisfied with your life? Your
Satis-
achievements?
No, satisfaction, and I will say there is a certain happiness is there, yes, because I never expected that I would be a police officer. Because, see, again, it was like police, I didn't know anything about it. It's just that during those days it was so healthy that we were selected from a competitive exam without even knowing any politician, without even knowing any this thing. In fact, at that point of time, the chief minister who was there, I think his 75th or 60th birthday. I was the district SP at that point of time. So I went and I said, sir, I have to really thank you, because during our time we got selected. And at that time, we did not have any recommendations, purely on merits. In 87, I can assure you, on 87, the 17 that was selected were purely on merits. And I think it was...
I'm just cutting you for this. I mean, म्हाका एक सांगात, तुम्ही जशी म्हणता प्युअरली मेरिट, म्हणजे डोंट यू थिंक लायक तेन्ना लोकांक कामाची गरज नासली, किंवा आता आज गव्हर्नमेंट जॉबाची गरज आसा?
ना, तेन्नापासून कामाची गरज आसली. ओके. And maybe at that point of time, you could say that, the competition was less. Okay. But yes, everybody wanted to work and everybody wanted a government job, because that was the best thing that could happen. But today, the horizon has widened. No one, you have to look beyond Goa. My own sons are beyond Goa. So, fine. You cannot think about that. We wanted to be, because our parents were here and everything, so we wanted to be in Goa. So, yes, it was Goa. Others, we have to think beyond Goa, then you have to go
As a father, how was Bosco George? आता न्ही, मागीर पयलीं भुरगेपणान, म्हणजे कितें आसता, पोलीसमॅन म्हणजे ड्युटी तशी आसता.
Okay.
Your kids, like, they were happy with your duties?
Fortunately, I had a wife who looked after most of these things. Okay. And as I said, my wife was always the bad cop. So naturally, they used to look at me and think, okay, at least I should favor them. So from whatever this thing, maybe I used to be a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, because in the police station we used to be difficult. But in this thing, I always wanted to. I never carried my work forward from the office to the house. But if you carry things back into your house, then there is no difference between house and police station. My elder boy, he is a corporate lawyer in Bangalore, and he works for a big top law firm. So he's doing well. My younger boy, he's doing his bee farm.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's also in Bangalore.
The reason why I'm asking you this is like, तुमच्या हडल्यान तुमचे कोण पळयतले?
And जायते जाण आमचे जायते गोंयकार भाव.
म्हणजे म्हजें की ही जी हें आसा, that system.
Yeah.
Politics anu त्याचा म्हणजे माझ्या फाटल्यान
I don't think that. I think we are not jagirdars to hand over our jagir to someone. Let them move on this thing. If they have this thing of politics, fine. I mean, this is we have not come out from that this thing. It's our legacy.
Correct.
We can't help it. We need to hand over jagirs. This thing.
If you had a chance to go back in time and change something in life.
Yeah. No, I would really like, that our police becomes more responsive. We give more facilities for the police. I mean, the policing, I was really impressed. One thing I noticed when I went for a training in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, the police are given a lot of facilities as far as from crime to the person, how to connect him. That needs a huge enhancing. Okay, we are a small state. This thing is also less, so it becomes a bit difficult. Okay, but those states are huge states, big states, lot of money, everything. So I could see the technology that they have got at their disposal is really huge. We have for a small state like ours. Let us also accept we have more policemen as compared to the number of people.
I mean, the team is big.
No, I mean the percentage all over India.
Okay.
All over India, you may have one policeman for nearly 300 people or 1,000 people. In Goa, it is less than
So
that.
now that you're more outspoken,
Yeah.
you remember her now?
Who's that?
You, the first?
No, it's forgotten. Learn for it. Now I have to think of my own family.
Yeah, I thought like now that you would speak.
It's jo ho gaya, so ho gaya.
Yeah, okay. But like those days are good, right?
It's always good. The past is always enjoy.
Yeah.
It's good to be nostalgic about the past, but you have to be in reality. The Goan society that was there was much more simple, much more understanding, was much more respectful.
Yeah. Okay.
We need to come back to that Goa. To the extent, we need to be more understanding. It was, I mean, today we are so my own this thing, I'll tell you, I worked all my life, mostly I was working in Panjim. And whenever you did the work, whenever you helped someone, they would say, oh, thank you very much, Mr. George, it's a great work. And anytime you want to meet me and this and that, kadam. Okay.
Correct.
For the first time, I went and started working in Margao and Kepe side. And when I went to Kepe...
Like this is after you joined police, right?
Police, yeah. Okay. When I went to Kepe, I mean, the life was still at a standstill in Kepe in maybe in 98. Simple people would come to, I was the device SDP or this thing. Simple people would come from the villages with requests that, sir, this is not being done, this officers, this thing. And they would come with bananas, they would come with fruits.
Okay.
And
Was
I
that
said,
corruption?
no, I mean, it was their genuine way of coming out and saying, this thing. I mean, that is the Goa today we are missing. I mean, that is one of the most memorable things I found in the police department. Even when this thing over here, when I was in Panjim police station many years back, I was a sub-inspector. I was sitting down in the reporting room when an elderly lady came and she wanted to register an offence. So I spoke to her, I told register. Then she opened her purse and she started saying, take this 10 rupees. I said, "Kida?" ना म्हाका लोकांनी सांगले की पुलिसीन वय तुका मातशें कंप्लेन दिवपाक 10 रुपया I mean, that was the simpleness of this thing. Okay, but maybe it was, and see, without any this thing that she's bribing or something of that. Then I told her, "Tuka goros na, puishe dipa bolsan ka." But that is that simple. But today it's a different ball game altogether.
Throughout your life, you joined as a
Sub-inspector.
Sub-inspector actually.
Yeah.
Okay. तेन्नाच्यान आज पर्यंत, which was that period where you were like, हांव हांगाच रावंक सोदता. Not as like म्हाका हें जाय, promotion जाय, it's a different thing. But खंयचो slot was like good कसो. Responsibilities are there still.
Yes. See, there is always, when you are a sub-inspector, there is a certain aura. Okay. And times were different. There was less media attention. There was less social media. There was less court this thing. And I mean, it was andhadhun to the extent that we had a long and can you imagine Panjim by 8 o'clock was dead?
Uh-huh.
There was the last bus from Panji used to leave at 8 o'clock, and everything was this entire was all commercial area, no residents. I mean, it was such a peaceful thing. I mean, we could. I remember on Sundays if we had to this thing, and especially during it was summer, it used to be very warm at that time. We could even go to Miramar, have a bath, and come back and report back. I mean, that was this thing over there. Today, no one can afford to do that.
आजचा जो गोवा हा आणि तुमच्या काळातलो जो गोवा हा किती फरक झाला का इन टर्म्स ऑफ पॉप्युलेशन because population directly affects the rest of the things.
Yeah, you see that one thing is there. The way the Goans are moving out of this thing, a certain vacuum is created, right? Now, when in vacuum, something else has to come in. So, trying to abuse those who come from outside the state is one of the greatest weakness. It is our sense of, we are not opening our minds to it. You have to accept. If your people are going out, there is no. Today, I come from a village. I may stay in the village of Sirida. You can see, you go to the church, you see all the elderly people in there. Where are the youngsters?
Youngsters, correct.
You all have gone. Their families are this thing, and then after you're cursing those who are coming into this thing. I mean, be practical. This is bound to happen. What are y'all over there in those countries? Y'all are also migrants in those countries. That time y'all learn to this thing. What will those West European people say? These people are coming and occupying our jobs.
Very correct.
I mean, this is this narrow-mindedness that has crept into us is the worst thing that has come into our Goan society. We are not content. That Susegadness is no more there. I think I would refer to Susegad being content. We were a content people. Today we have become a greedy people. What I'm trying to say is, you have to learn to say no and say, boss, thank you. It's okay, I don't require it. Once you learn to say that, and the second thing, you have to learn to live within your means. I always tell, I tell my force, when they say, the constable, I speak to them, तुम्ही म्हणता तुमचो पगार तुमका पावना हांव एसपी जावन हांव म्हणटा म्हाजो पगार म्हाका पावना आमचो डीजी म्हणटा तेजो पगार पावना पावचेत ना because God has given everyone his needs, not his wants. Our wants are many. So once we start living within our means, I think life is much better. The minute you exceed those means, either you try to jump up, you're defying the law that that you're not destined, but still this is not meant for you, but you still want it. And naturally you are bound to fail.
हे गार्बेजचाच इश्यू आता. As a policeman, तुम्ही किती करतात?
Raj, I'll tell you why you want to make your policeman another sanitary inspector. It is the duty of the panchayats. Can't they employ the people to look at it? Can't the corporations look after these things? Don't make the police. The policing is a different ball game altogether. It is policing people. It is detection of crime, prevention of crime, not looking after garbage, which is supposed to be your primary responsibility.
Correct. This is to all the citizens.
Yes. Okay. They should not be. Anything it is for police. I have a problem with my wife because she said the police should be. I said, no, this is not a policing work. This is your, go and shout in the panchayat, I said. Of course, I cannot shout because I'm a government servant. I said, you go and shout and make this thing. What are they doing? Just sitting down and they want salaries and all this? I mean, for what? For doing nothing. Only justifying what is illegal to legal. I mean, this is the most practical thing I have seen in local bodies. Unfortunately.
You've spoken your heart today.
I hope I'm not in trouble.
You remember any playing prank?
There were lots in the school.
So personally involved.
I don't, maybe I was not so adventurous in playing pranks. Okay, maybe by nature I'm not so adventurous to go and do such thing. But I would be a happy participant in it.
I give you a chance to be a host of my show.
Oh, it was a nice experience and enjoyable.
Okay.
And
you spoke your heart.
Okay, yeah.
Almost,
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I've crossed the line. That I will know after people view it and what is their reaction. Yes. And then I may get something. But okay, we have to face that also. No?
So what do you have to say about my show?
Okay, congratulations and keep it up.
Thank you so much.
And we'll enjoy watching more such.
Thank you so much, sir. So thank you so much for being on my show. This was Sir SP George.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on my show, sir.
Thank you,
so much.
Raj.
Glad to